yarns. Have you ever found a yarn that instantly sparked your creativity? Well, I just got Sultan Pastello yarn from Hobbii and I can't wait to test it out. So if you're interested in discovering new yarns, stick around because I will be sharing honest thoughts, pros and cons, some project ideas, what I've been making, and how I think this is a game changer. So don't miss out and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video for more. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christina from City Bright Knits. This is my cozy little crochet corner. I'm going to be giving you today an honest yarn review and how it feels to be working with another addition to the yarn stash. So I am a person who loves cotton yarn. I love the sustainability of it. I love the feel of it, the lightweightness. And I'm going to be giving you a full review of Hobbii's Sultan Pastello yarn. This happens to be the pink color, but I've also used it in the green color to make this. First of all, let me get started by introducing Hobbii's Sultan Pastello yarn. I regularly work with Hobbii as a crochet pattern writer and designer, and now I'm using this beautiful yarn to design a set of summer gowns, and this is one of them. So Sultan Pastello is a fingering weight yarn, which means it's very thin, and it is also classified as a sock weight. What's unique about this yarn is that it divides into unspun strands right here. So if you can see all of the strands come apart, we're gonna get to that in a little bit. It's 100% cotton. It's Ecotech certified, which I love when things are Ecotech Standard 100. Just means that they have more conscious sustainability efforts in the dyeing and manufacturing process. It comes in 8 beautiful colorways. This one is called Physalis. It's pretty pink and kind of a coral look. I've also used Gooseberry, which is this white goes into green ombre effect. Sultan Pastello comes in 8 colorways, and if you've ever used a yarn wheel before, you will know that it's very vacuum sealed, compact. It's very thin and lightweight, easy to use. This ball doesn't run all over the place. It has an easy start tab here and you can just pull from the center. A wheel of yarn equals about 200 grams, which is about 800 meters or 875 yards. So really, to do this full dress, I only needed 2 wheels for the size small. For a size all the way up to extra large, all you need is 3 wheels. So it really gets you a long way. I recommended hook size online is 3 millimeters, and that's going to give you a very small, fine fabric. For me, I found that working with a 4 millimeter or a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook works best. Here's a little swatch that I'm working up, and this is a mesh stitch, so it is intended to have these holes in it. However, for this example that I've already worked, this is a double crochet, and honestly, you cannot really see through it. Of course, if it's backlit, that's the essence of crochet, but using a 4.5 millimeter hook got me that look. So it's similar to, if you're familiar with Hobbii cottons, a twister or a dahlia. However, those are sport weight yarns. This is actually categorized as a sock weight or fingering yarn. So it's much thinner, much finer. The whole intention of having the 4 strands that are unwound is that it gives it a much lighter look when it's crocheted. So you can see those are coming apart right here. It's actually not hard to use. I've made many projects with this yarn. As you can see, a full length garment, and I haven't had any issues. It just works like normal. And because the yarn are those 4 strands, it just sits much airier, like there's more air in between each individual strand, giving it a beautiful drape, as well as it's just so lightweight to wear. You can see this one, it just flows in the breeze. It's so great compared to if you've used ever just a friend's cotton or a rainbow cotton. Those are much more dense and they are just your standard plied yarn. This is a great yarn to try if you are interested in making things for summer garments. If you're making a dishcloth, something like that, you might want something that's a little sturdier just to hold up with getting wet all the time. However, if you're considering making a mandala or a lace table runner or something like that, highly recommend this yarn. It is just a gorgeous drape, as I said. It does sit flat. I haven't had any curling, and it just blocks so beautifully. Just with getting it lightly wet and laying it flat, just gets rid of all of the wrinkles to create a beautiful drape. I have actually combined it with another sparkle yarn to give it just a little bit of shimmer up here. I've crocheted some flowers holding those two yarns together, and it just combines completely perfectly. Gives it that pop of color. You can see how rich these colors are in this garment behind me. And what's unique about the Sultan Pastello is that it actually has this ombre color fade to it. So one side of the wheel is going to be the darker saturated color, and the other side of the wheel is going to be a lighter color. This color Physalis, it goes from a dark coral pink to a very light blush pink. And the way it works in is, because there's 4 strands individual, after a certain amount of length, about 200 meters, it starts to tie in another individual color. And so it just naturally gives you that fade effect. And this color that I used, which is gooseberry, it started out with white as the light part, and then the dark green as the saturated part. Each color is a little different. Actually, with this design, I manipulated the color a little bit, and I wanted more white at the top of my garment. So between the 2 balls that I had, or the 2 cake wheels, whatever you want to call it, I actually cut the yarn and joined it so that I would have more of the light color before it went into the green saturated color. So that's just a little tip as a crochet designer, something that I do when using these color wheeled yarns. It's slightly different from, this is a Cotton Kings Torls. Similar weight, also has the 4 strands that are undone. However, this one has much more color involved in it. So when this works up, it's going to be about 5 different colors. That's great, super summery. But for a little more what I consider an elegant beachwear look, I'm really leaning towards this Sultan Pastello because it does have that punch of color. However, it also has the elegant, light, natural color to pair that's really easy with neutrals, especially if you're making a garment. So what I used it for was this glamour gown design. This is a new pattern that's coming to hobbii.com this summer, and it is going to be sized for size extra small all the way through extra large, with instructions for, if you're outside of that sizing, how to manipulate it for yourself. And it is a beautiful summer design that's kind of based on a 1970s, 1960s, mod glamour look of just those kind of dresses that come tight at the bust and then just kind of hang loose. And that's totally the theme that I'm going for this summer. I'm going to be following up with a second design in this Physalis color. It's going to be slightly different. As you saw, it's going to have the mesh. So it's going to incorporate mesh panels with the solid panels, and it is also going to have some colorful flowers sprinkled on it that are going to be much smaller than these flowers. This is going for 2 big kind of dramatic glamour flowers with little shimmer flowers incorporated. I will give you a little zoom in sneak peek there. Like I said, the pattern is coming this summer to Hobbii. And so the strengths and weaknesses of this yarn, let's get into it. I could see the weakness being that it does have the 4 individual strands. However, I have not found that to be a weakness at all. It works up very quickly. I haven't had any issues with knotting. Like I said, it actually gives the fabric a much lighter, airier feel because it's not as dense, because there's air in between each of those 4 strands. I could see that being a weakness. Also, it comes in 8 colorways. So if you're somebody who really likes the punchy colors all over, you might go with a different wheel of yarn. For me, I love color, don't get me wrong, but I kind of want to start making things that have a little less color, in the sense of I want it to be something I'm actually going to wear. When I'm on vacation, I want to be able to put it on and it matches a brown pair of sandals and a straw handbag, and I want to not feel so loud walking around, because sometimes crochet already feels loud. And so I think the Sultan Pastello is a beautiful way to incorporate color with neutrals. So that's definitely not a weakness for me, but if you are concerned about the amount of colorways or the fact that it's in 4 strands of yarn. However, I will say, if you're interested in trying cotton yarns specifically for garments, this is a beautiful choice. If you haven't already tried a fingering weight yarn, or a yarn that is not wound and it is the 4 individual strands, I highly recommend it. I've also tried Twister, and I think that while it is a very thin yarn, it certainly has a different drape to it. It's a little spongier in my opinion. Like, it has a little more give and volume to it, whereas I think the Sultan Pastello just really hangs straight and has a beautiful flowy drape to it. So the value for the quality, I have been highly impressed with the quality. It's obviously a yarn I've already ordered again. I'm using it again in the second color. I can't wait to use all the colorways. It is running about $21 US for a one wheel. However, I will say that Hobbii is really great in offering a quantity bulk discount. So if you order 2 wheels or multiple wheels, you do get a discount on Hobbii, as well as they are always pushing sales. They're always giving us little yarn sale treats here and there. So I've often found it really marked down. Highly recommend it. It's a great quality for the value of yarn. And like I said, it is Ecotech certified, which means that they are really putting sustainable efforts into sourcing the cotton as well as how they dye the yarn. So if you find that important, then definitely it's a quality win. Like I said, it's a great comparison to some other yarns that I've tried. It's very similar to these cakes that have a bunch of colors, except it's just much more elegant with a less going on, but at the same time, like a dramatic punch. And it's so great. I love how I've used it. I can't wait to show you the finished product as well as when the pattern comes out this summer. It's honestly just one of the best yarns for crochet. So what do you think? Do you think you'd use this yarn for your next project, or do you have a go-to that you stand by? I would love to know in comments. I love hearing your thoughts and feedbacks, and especially your recommendations. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell for more crochet chats from me. Happy crocheting! Big thank you to Hobbii for sponsoring today's video and letting me try out this yarn. While this video is sponsored, all opinions are 100% my own, and I'm sharing honest thoughts and reviews in this video.